Okay, guys, hello, welcome back. I know it's been a couple of months, but I wanted to, I wanted to play with both PS5 and Xbox for some time before I actually come to my decision. I say of my opinion, more or less. Gonna be talking about a bit of everything, from controllers to performance. This again is always my honest opinion. It's my opinion. It doesn't mean that one is better than the other. It's just a question of opinions. So I'm gonna start with controllers. Man, controllers. This if we talk about the standard Xbox controller against the PS5, there's no context. Okay, there's no context. The PS5 wins all the way. Let's say this is a beauty. This feels next gen. This really do feel next gen. The innovation, the feel of it, I love it. I think it's a lot better than the PS4 controller. I didn't like the PS4 controller. I wasn't very keen on it. This feels a lot better. Is when you play with it and you feel the triggers, the adaptive triggers and everything is just good. It's just really good. Don't know how good it will be online multiplayer. I don't really play online multiplayer with on the PS5 because all my friends are on Xbox. So I play on Xbox with the Elite controller B2. So I think this will be with adaptive triggers on online. I don't think it'll be as good. I think you can always switch it off. I think you'll be if you're on the competitive side and you wanna win. I would recommend you switch the adaptive triggers off if there's a way to switch them off. I don't know. Controllers, yeah, the PS5 hands down. If we give a point, let's give a point to. I've got my things here. I'll give a point to PS5 because controllers hands down. As long as you're not comparing it with the Elite controller, even though you compare it to the Elite controller. If we're talking as a standards, PS5 still beats them. Performance-wise, if you play online multiplayers, of course, it's gonna go with the Elite. Definitely, the triggers, the extra buttons at the back. Of course, you'll go with that if you play competitive online. If it's just gaming, and you still play online multiplayers, but you're not crazy and you cannot afford £150, this is what it costs, then this is a great controller. I cannot stress this enough. This is amazing. And I play with it, you feel the steps when you're playing Astro Boot. This is great. This is just great. But again, point to PlayStation 5. Okay? We go with looks. This is up to you guys. A lot of people complain about the PS5. I actually love it. I love that. I love how it looks. Same thing with Xbox. Xbox is more towards a computer. It looks like a computer tower, smaller. It's a computer tower. PS5 is futuristic. It looks great. In my opinion, it looks great. I wouldn't change it. Even a lot of people are, why didn't you do it black? I love it. I love white. I think it's posh. I think it's nice. I'm considering putting a couple of stickers on, no whole thing, not to cover the whole thing, but a couple of stickers. Maybe a God of War sticker or so. Just make it stand out even more. But I love it. I love it. I'll give a point to both because I like both. If PlayStation is more on the futuristic side, Xbox is more on the conservative side, but both are nice to look at. I'll give a point to both because I like both. There's no one that it's not that I like one over the other. No, I like both. It's nice. They're both nice anyway. Performance. PS5 is punching way above its weight. I have not seen any issues with both. And I was really impressed with what PS5 can achieve compared to the Xbox. Because on paper, Xbox is a lot stronger. You know, in terms of numbers, Xbox should be wiping the floor with PS5. Does it do it? No, definitely not. I don't know if it's Xbox, the games on Xbox are not made for Xbox, so you don't see the difference there. Or is PS5, the way it was built, is punching really above its weight? Because the performance on on PS5 is great, the same as Xbox. They're both great, the performance are great. I love Game Resume. Game Resume is really nice, really nice. Now I must say something here, okay? I have an issue with the PS5, and it's not all the time. It's from time to time. I switch the console on. I put it on standby. Couple of hours later, a day later, doesn't matter. Pick up the controller. Try to switch the PS5 with the controller. Switches on for a second. Straight away switches off. Then I cannot switch it on back with the controller. I have to go to the physical button on the PS5, switch it on. It restarts on safe mode and says it has to reconfigure the hard drive. I can't remember exactly the message, but it's doing restarting the console on safe mode. He's asking you to, he's doing something to the hard drive. Then it takes a few seconds and then restarts again on the regular mode. You know, and this is an issue that's been going on for some time. It's not something that I have once every month. No, it could happen if I play quite a bit that week with the PS5. It could happen 2-3 times a week, you know. And it's happening quite often. It's not a kill, it's not something that's gonna stop you from playing. It's just it takes a little bit longer. And I'm just worried if it's one of these days it's actually gonna do some damage to the hard drive. I don't think it will do. I'm pretty sure it will be fixed with a future update. But, you know, was a bit disappointed. So performance, I give 2 to Xbox, okay? Because I had no issues with Xbox yet, and I had an issue with PS5. If there was no that issue, I would give them both just 1 point. But because of the issue with PS5, I give Xbox 2 points. Games, okay, games. PS5 territory, just because of the games on PS4. You know, Xbox got a lot of games. Game Pass is amazing. It's an amazing service. It's the best service there is at the moment. I love it. I love it. Now, PS5, it's got the games, okay? It's got The Last of Us 2, The Last of Us. You know, it's got Ghost of Tsushima. I love that game. Brilliant, brilliant. It's got so many games. God of War. It's got so many games, so many single player games, you know, that it's hard to say Xbox has got as many games. It might have as many games. Not saying no, it hasn't. It's got really a lot of games. Some of them are brilliant. But when we compare first party titles, hands down PlayStation. Hands down PlayStation. Okay, so a point goes to PlayStation. But actually, I give 2 points to PlayStation, and I give 1 point to Xbox. Because if you go Game Pass, I'm giving Xbox a point just for Game Pass. Game Pass is an amazing service, so it deserves a point. Because for what, £11 now? I think it's £11 a month, inclusive of Xbox Live, Game Pass Ultimate, which you can use in your computer as well. You know, it's such a good service, so it deserves a point. Just on Game Pass, I'm giving them a point just on Game Pass. Okay, now, comes to next gen. Which one feels more next gen? Okay? And that includes everything. That includes the looks of it, the UI, you know, games. Games, there's no really next gen, so I wouldn't say games. There's no game next gen games yet. There's no next gen games yet. In a couple of weeks, the Medium is coming out on Xbox, which I think is made for Xbox Series X. So we'll see that game there. But next gen, which one feels more next gen? I will go towards PS5. Just the looks of it and the UI. Okay, it's just those 2 points. Looks of it, UI is PS5. Xbox is a next gen game, next gen console. Don't get me wrong, it's a brilliant console, it's everything. Switch it on, it's got the same. I was disappointed. I think I mentioned this already in a previous video. I was disappointed with the UI. You have a new console, you expect something new, you switch it on, the new menu, then you go through the menus to see how it works and everything, what the new things they've done. Okay, I was disappointed. It's the same one that I had on my Xbox One X, So in that case, I was disappointed because it didn't feel next gen. No, it's a lot faster, a lot better. Graphics are amazing. But it doesn't feel next gen when you switch it on. Why? Because the UI is still the same UI that they had. Okay, it might change. Okay, they might change it, and they might bring it. Get a system, that UI that's made for Xbox Series X, and then I can give them a point. Because apart from that, is next gen performance, everything is next gen. UI, disappointed. PS5 looks, controller, UI. I have to give it to PS5. Don't get me wrong, I'm not PS5. I'm not a PS5 fan. I'm not even a fan of Xbox or anything. I'm just a gamer. I game on anything. Okay, I like games in itself. I game on everything. But I do like my consoles. Okay, and when I play multiplayer games, I tend to play more on Xbox. When I play single player games, I tend to play on PS5 now. But if we're talking about a next gen console, it feels PS5 is more next gen than the Xbox. Why? Because they innovated the controller, they innovated the UI, they've done a couple of things. Yeah, okay, Xbox has got game resume, okay, but it worked within the same UI. That's what I'm saying. The UI is the same thing. I was looking at that UI on my Xbox One X, so it doesn't feel next gen. Okay, so if hands down is PS5. If you're looking for a next gen console, the looks of it and something new, not the same software, PS5. So let's see. This gives me PS5 is got 4, 5. I gave 5 points. Okay, and I gave Xbox 4 points. Why? Because the last bit on next gen. Okay, controllers, PS5 won it. Looks, they both, I give them a point both, because they're both really good. Performance. Sorry, I must apologize. I received a phone call, so I have to pause the video. I'm not an expert, okay? I'm not gonna say an expert. I'm not an expert, so I apologize for that. So performance. I think we were on performance. Performance, I gave it to Xbox 2 points, PS5 1 point. Only reason for the issue that I have with the PS5 when I switch it with the controller. Okay, that's the only reason I gave an extra point to Xbox. So I didn't find any issues with Xbox yet, and I found that issue that happens quite often with the PS5. Okay, it's not deal breaker. It's definitely not a deal breaker. Bang on performance, I gave it to Xbox just because of that PS5.